Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, lazy on the couch, again, watching more animated movies for this 3131. And today's, like I said, I thought we were going to get into some weird anime shit, and we kind of did, but it's not super weird. There was one I was going to watch because it looked really interesting, and then I found out it was a TV series, so that sucks. I think it's called Devil Woman, but instead, I decided to watch Memories. And this is done by the creator of Akira, and it's an anthology movie. I didn't know it was an anthology movie when I first was getting ready to watch it, and then decided to look up a little bit about it, and because looking at it, and as it's put in there as sci-fi and this thing, and I was like, wait, but why is it on the list? Why is it on a list of horror movies? And it's basically kind of because of the first story. And there's 3 in total. There is, I think it's Rose of something. God, I can't remember. It's something Rose, and that's terrible. Cannon Fodder, which is the 3rd one, and Stink Bomb, which is the 2nd one. And basically, the first one takes up the majority of the movie. The 3rd one is the shortest. The 3rd one's this is 2 hours long, and the first story is almost an hour of the movie. And then the other 2 split up the rest of the time. I think the last one is maybe 20 minutes, and the middle one is maybe 40 minutes. I could be wrong. Could be a little less. Could be a little bit more. I don't fucking know. But definitely, if you want to watch something that is disturbing and has those horror aspects, it's the first story. The first story, I think, is the best out of all of them. I think the 3rd is the weakest, and it kind of sucks because there's not really a story to the 3rd one, where the 2nd one is a weird comedy of sorts. So I'm gonna actually do this backwards. I'm gonna do the first one. I'm gonna explain the first one last and go through the 3rd and the 2nd one first. So I want to start off with the 3rd one, and then, again, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the basic idea of the 3rd one is a city with a bunch of cannons. It's a cannon city. And there is a father and a son. The son is going to school. The father works as a lowly loader for the cannon. And the animation is really fucking cool. Out of everything, again, the overall movie is great. It is a really good movie. And when I say that the 3rd is the worst, it's the worst of a great movie, right? Of a good anthology. And of course, now I'm hiccuping after I've had dinner and watched this movie. And so it's basically you're just watching them. The reason I say it's because it's they're loading the cannon and firing the cannon at an unknown enemy, and you go through the whole motions and processes while the kid is learning about what needs to do, and then the mom works at the place where they make the shells. And that's basically it. It doesn't really have much of a story, and that's the only one that's actually directed by the Akira creator. So it's fine for what it is, but it's not it's not the greatest storytelling, but in terms of the animation, really cool. Stink Bomb is an interesting one. That one is kind of a weird, it doesn't have horror elements, but it feels like a story that you would get in Creepshow, in the way that it is. And basically, you have a guy. This guy has a cold. In the beginning of it, he's getting a shot for the flu, and he's been prescribed medicine that he needs to take. And he works for a biochemical company that makes medicine. And one of the guys says, "Hey, if you're not feeling well right now, why don't you try one of our fever reducers? That we have here. Take 2. You take the blue pills that are in the red bottle, and it'll make you feel better, and it should work relatively fast, and you can be our guinea pig for it." And he's a little reluctant. Then he goes in the boss's office, and then he sees a blue bottle with red pills. Okay, we all know that this is going south. And then what he does is he takes two of those, actually takes three of those pills, and it turns out it turns him into a lethal stink bomb. Like he's giving off this stink, but at the same time, it also makes like plants and everything grow really well. It's like an eradication device. And it basically them trying to stop him from moving to Tokyo because he's like was told by the board of directors, you know, you need to take those, you need to bring those pills because he kills everybody at the office. And you need to take these pills, you need to bring them to us in Tokyo, but they don't know that he's emitting the deadly like gas that's going out there. And it's basically like, how are we going to stop him and him trying to get and fulfill what he has to do and not realizing that he's fucking deadly. It's pretty funny. It has some really cool, again, animation is just fucking stellar in this too. Throughout the whole movie, it's stellar. And this came out in 95, and I was absolutely amazed by the way that it looked. And it definitely has that Akira feel to it, but like a cleaner version of Akira. Like Akira looks great and is animated great, but this looks like really clean, even for 95. And definitely this one is meant to be a little more comedic because of your main character and how they handle the situations, even though it's like a serious thing that's going on there. So that it's pretty solid. It's good. And then you get to the first one, which, my God, this is like one of the most, if it was a full thing at an hour and a half, I would say this is one of the best anime movies like ever created, like for my opinion, and the things that I like. The basic story is that there's a, it's in outer space. There's a ship, I think it's called the Connor, and they're basically said, oh, there's an SOS call. We need you guys to go investigate it. And they're like, we really don't want to do it. Oh, we'll pay you overtime. No, we don't really want to. And then they come across and they're like, okay, it sounds bad. Maybe we should go do it. So they decide to go do it. Two of them go onto the ship, and the other one's waiting their ship. And there becomes this like convoluted story of this opera singer and her dead husband and all the crazy crap that's still going on the ship, where the two on the ship, they're being hypnotized in different ways. And there's all these cool holograms, and it's just like there is a lot of good tense, like, and horror specific aspects to it. Yeah, is it sci-fi? But sci-fi can be horror too at the same time. But it's just like the desolation and them trying to figure it out. And then the guy's like seeing images of his daughter, which you learn something else about that daughter. One of the guys. And then them trying to escape this ship that is just, it's like blown up and it looks like a rose in the middle of nowhere. It's just like, again, when I watch something that's in like Japanese in this case, I can't tell whether the voice acting is bad, but like, I feel like I've seen enough anime to be like, yeah, I know it is. Like, the voice acting is great. I love the story. I love the way it flows, how tense some of the moments get, just how peculiar everything is, how the mystery unfolds. Like, it's just like, it's really perfect for me and for like my styles. And really, like, as I was watching that, because I even said to myself, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch 10 to 15 minutes of this. And if the first 10 to 15 minutes, there really isn't a whole lot of like horror aspect, I'm going to knock this one out. I'm just going to be like, I'll come back to it later. I'll watch it on my own and I'll do this thing. And then I kept going and I was like, nope, this one is specifically like, it is horror adjacent or at least horror related. So it's just really good. And if you watch it for this one alone, it's available again, Tubi. Tubi has been like my savior of these random like animated movies that I had no idea existed. It's a good, like I said, it's a good story. It's got good atmosphere. I love the way that the ship looks and everything is derelict and how they're kind of like piecing things together and how like the hologram hits and everything looks perfect and how, the only character's name I can remember, which is Miguel, how Miguel is being like sucked into what is being presented in front of him and everything like that. And then like the way it ends is just like, it's weirdly poetic. And it's fun. I really enjoyed this movie. It turned out to be a much longer review than, like I said, I want to hold it to like, under 5 minutes, but yeah. So overall, I'm going to give this a solid 4 out of 5 just because the last one wasn't very cohesive. It gets a 4 out of 5 haunted opera ships. So Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll get another one of these 3131s, and we'll see you soon.